What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another Tottenham update for you guys. We have actually got some very interesting, very interesting and quite worrying as well, developments as well going on at Leyton Orient. Apparently some of their players, we're not sure the number of players yet, but have been tested positive for coronavirus after Tottenham paid for Leyton Orient squad to be tested, because under League 2 ruling there is no rules in terms of testing. And what's come out of that is that, like I said, I'm not too sure how many players have been tested positive, but players have been tested positive, and this has brought the future of tomorrow's game
in doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's a number of possibilities. They're saying the game possibly could be postponed, but if it is postponed, we don't really know when that possibly even could be played, because obviously the next round's supposed to be next week. So I don't know when that they could possibly fit that game in. Whether we play that against Leyton Orient next week and then everything gets delayed for us, or there's a possibility we could even get a bye into the next round if this game is cancelled altogether. So I'm not really sure what the latest is, or we're as of now, we're expecting a announcement later today. It could even happen now while we're recording this video, so we're keeping the laptop open just in case. But we don't 100% know what the latest is next week, tomorrow. If the game is going ahead or not, we're really not sure what the latest is. All we know is a number of positive tests for Leyton Orient, so the game's in big doubt. It's unlikely to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Leyton Orient cancelled their pre-match press conference today, so I think that kind of tells you...
The stadium's closed at the moment.
And the stadium's closed, so I think that kind of tells you what's going on. I'm not expecting this game to go ahead, to be honest. I think
maybe we change to Tottenham Stadium. That's maybe one thing.
It could be, but I just can't see it, to be honest. I just can't, unless Leyton Orient send like a complete second string. So we don't know how many players, but if Leyton Orient... And these players have got in contact with everyone else in the squad. So, I mean, I think it's very unlikely for it to go ahead. I really do. Which is a shame. I mean, it's a big shame. I mean, there's good and bad. The good reason why is that Tottenham's schedule is going to become less kind of congested. Missing a game, obviously, our next game would be on Thursday. We all know the crazy fixture schedule Tottenham have at the moment. So, on that sense, it will be good news. But on the other sense, Leyton Orient, this game is actually a massive game in terms of... First of all, for Justin Edinburgh. Justin Edinburgh, all you know, big Tottenham legend, played the majority of his career for Tottenham, and also was the manager of Leyton Orient when he sadly passed away last year. So, I mean, to play this game in his memory was a big thing. I think that's the first thing everyone thought of when we got Leyton Orient in the Cup. And second of all, why it's so big as well is that Harry Kane, former Leyton Orient player, he was on loan there very early on in his career, and they were going through some financial problems because of the whole COVID thing, and he sponsored their shirts this season as well. And you saw him talking after the game against Southampton on the weekend, talking about how he can't believe that they got drawn from Leyton Orient, and it was a really important game for him, and he couldn't wait to play, and that what have you. And Jose Mourinho was saying how he couldn't leave Harry Kane out of the side for this game. So it is a shame that if this game gets called off, but, you know, we can understand why.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be a massive shame, but it is what it is at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. We'll, obviously, any updates, anything we hear, we'll provide you with an update on the channel. But as of now, the game looks very, very unlikely to go ahead. But what that means for us in the next round, and what that means if we're going through or it's being delayed, no one knows. But we'll keep you updated on that front.
So obviously, if we do get a bye into the next round, we will play the winners of Chelsea and Oxford, I think it is. Is it Oxford?
Was it Oxford? I thought it was Chelsea and Burnley or something.
Oh, you're right, Burnley. Barnsley.
Barnsley, Chelsea and Barnsley, yeah.
So obviously, if we do get a bye to the next round, we will be playing one of either Chelsea or Barnsley, which will be next Tuesday at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So look, I hope it goes ahead. I really do hope it goes ahead, just because of the reasons I stated, Justin Edinburgh and Harry Kane. But if it doesn't go ahead, then look, we can all accept that reason, and we can all breathe a sigh of relief with our fixture schedule, really.
I guess it gives us a bit of breathing space.
Yeah. Now let's move on to some transfer news. Let's start off with Alexander Sorloth, plays for Trabzonspor on loan from Crystal Palace at the moment. Links were linking him to RB Leipzig, but there's been some developments in that, hasn't there?
So he was set for a medical at RB Leipzig. A number of very reliable reports saying that the medical was going to go ahead. He was going to transfer to RB Leipzig after interest from Spurs. Looks like Leipzig were going to get their man, but apparently, according to the reports in Turkey, there's been a last-minute hitch in the medical, and apparently the medical has now been postponed due to interest from both Tottenham and Manchester United in a last-minute swoop for Alexander Sorloth. So apparently his medical has been postponed to Trabzonspor. So how reliable these reports in Turkey are or not, we'll have to wait and see. But interesting developments there.
Yeah, I mean, is he one you want?
I wouldn't say no to him. I think, look, at this point, we just need someone in the door. I mean, we've been saying it so long. We just need someone, a target man. I think he's done very well at Trabzonspor. I know he didn't do very well at Palace, but I think it was one of those cases where he wasn't given a fair crack of the whip when he was at the club. And I think he would be a decent option. He's big, he's strong, he's a good finisher. So I think, I know it's only the Turkish league, but he scored a bag load of goals there, so I think it's worth maybe giving it. If we really are struggling to get any of our targets, it's worth having a punt on him. I think it wouldn't be on my number 1 or my number 2 or my number 3, but at least he's someone who I think has the potential to be a good option for us.
What kind of fee do you reckon he commands?
Probably between 25 and 30. I would be my assumption, 25 and 30 million euros.
Does that go to Trabzonspor? Does it go to Palace?
I think it goes to Trabzonspor because I think they have an option to buy him from Palace for 5 million euros, and they'll likely sell him on for a profit. So that's, I think, the structure of the deal at the moment.
Which moves us into another striker who we've been linked quite heavily with. It was rumoured that it was his last game for Wolfsburg yesterday. Wout Weghorst. Obviously, it was a 0-0 game. A lot of Spurs fans were watching it just to see a 0-0 game in the Bundesliga. But I think this is the one that we should be going for. He offers something different. 6'6". He offers that kind of Llorente role, what have you. He can come in. He can change a game. You can target him. You can hang him on the defender, and he'll have the height and the kind of jump over them. So I mean, I think this is really one where he can come in and really provide a proper plan B for Tottenham Hotspur. So I mean, has there been any developments on that?
Well, since the reports from Holland saying that this is going to set to be his last game for,
they're all tier 1
Wolfsburg,
sources, weren't they?
They're saying he was set to be his last game for Wolfsburg. He's expected to sign for Tottenham after the game or after this week, and he's set to be a Tottenham player. But there's been other reports now from Alistair Gold, who's saying the interest in Wout Weghorst is wide of the mark, and he goes against what the reports in Holland are saying. So he's saying it's not likely, and there's also reports in Germany saying that Weghorst is going to command a fee of around 35 million euros. So this is a lot more. This is probably more than we expected to be paying for him. There were reports in Holland saying he could be available for a reduced fee, and Tottenham could pay an instalment, but the news coming out today is the move looks less likely. Alistair Gold saying it's wide of the mark, and reports in Germany saying he's going to come on 35 million. So is this a go? I guess we have to wait and see who's more reliable, the reports in Holland or reports over here. So he is Dutch himself, so obviously the reports in Holland might hold some weight, but we'll have to wait and see. I guess it's a waiting game on that one, whether it's actually going to come or not.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say as well, Alistair Gold has been absolutely spot on this transfer window.
He has.
From the start to now.
I think he gets like noise directly from inside the club, so he's kind of like the voice of the club a lot of the time. So he usually gets his information very spot on, very reliable. So he was one of the first to call the Bale news and Doherty. He was completely Doherty. No one was talking about Doherty before.
I mean, he's calling Spurs news a lot quicker and a lot more accurate than Romano at the moment.
100%. So I think you got to take his word for it that Weghorst is wide of the mark at the moment.
Okay, now let's move on to a player which none of you want. None of us want.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it anyway, and that is Jesse Lingard. Coming out after the kind of Dele Alli news yesterday, saying that if we do sell Ali, Lingard could be his replacement. Just please no. Please.
No. No. I really don't want Lingard. He's so average. And I see reports from the Times.
The last time he wasn't average, though, Mourinho was his manager.
That's true. He had one good half a season under Mourinho. He's living off that still. But I think the Times are reporting that if Dele Alli is moved on, Spurs see Lingard as a long-term replacement. I mean, Lingard is 3 years older than Dele. What do you mean long-term replacement? He's perpetually called a youngster, Lingard, even though he's 27 now. It's like, come on, this is who he is.
Like a kid still.
This is who he is. He's an average Premier League footballer. He hasn't been good for United for a long time. He rarely gets goals and assists. The worrying thing is that Fabrizio Romano said that Spurs will actually look at Lingard if we do sell on Dele.
Yeah, but Romano also said we're selling Ndombele as well.
He did say that as well. But on the flip side of that, Alistair Gold as well said the reports of Lingard are well wide of the mark. So if Alice has anything to go by, it looks like this one is a non-starter. Many celebrations from Tottenham fans.
If Romano and Alistair Gold are clashing over their views, I 100% put my trust in Alistair Gold over Romano.
Yeah, I think Romano gets good info a lot of the time, but a lot of the time
it's
he
just
also
hearsay.
gets a lot of the time he does get hearsay. Like he gets, like for example, that whole Inter Milan stuff. I'm sure Inter Milan were interested in Ndombele, but the fact that he was saying like Tottenham want to sell him and stuff, that clearly wasn't true, and clearly wanted to keep him. So I think he sometimes doesn't get the full picture.
I think Romano is reliable, but I actually feel that when it comes to Spurs news, he's not the most reliable. I think maybe for other clubs or maybe other news, he is more reliable.
When it came to
Spurs.
Reguilon, him and Ornstein clashed, and Ornstein was right. Ornstein said he's set for Spurs, and Romano said he was set for United. Yeah. Within a few hours of each other, they both tweeted that, and Ornstein was right. Yeah. And Romano had to backtrack. So clearly he doesn't get everything right. But I think you always have to take notice of what he says, because a lot of the time he is correct. 100%. But he doesn't get everything right, especially as you said when it comes to Spurs.
And I also feel that with the Spurs news this year, he's been quite slow reporting it. A lot of other Dan Kilpatrick, Alistair Gold, David Ornstein and other athletic other athletic reporters have been a lot quicker and a lot more precise over Tottenham news than him this summer.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Spurs news, they have more info and they get it quicker than Romano does. I think Romano does get good info when it's like a done deal and stuff like that. He gets good solid info, but when it's like speculation in the inner workings of a deal, I think these guys are quicker on the mark.
Yeah, I agree with that. And last but not least, let's talk about Serge Aurier, because it's gone a bit quiet on the Serge Aurier front. We thought he was going to Milan, and we thought he was going to Leverkusen. Then we thought he was staying, which I really want, to be honest. I just can't see how we go into another season with just one right back. And Jose was saying something similar to that a few weeks ago, but there's been some more reports over Serge Aurier, hasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's again conflicting reports, but Sky Sports saying Spartak Moscow are increasingly confident of striking a deal to sign Serge Aurier. I'm not sure of the actual details of the deal, but apparently they are confident they're going to sign him. However, Charlie Eccleshare, who's quite a reliable Spurs journalist for Athletic, saying that Spartak do want a deal to be done, but the deal is seems to be unlikely.
That's good.
We'll see how this one pans out. Obviously, I'd rather him staying. If we do get a good deal for him from Spartak, then I would like to see us reinvest in another right back. But for me personally, I just don't see the point. What's the point of selling him for like 20 million and rushing around to find another right back when he's just here at the club now? It's just another thing we'll have to do for the window, which is more unlikely to do. So for me, might as well keep him, might as well have him competing with Doherty, and I think he's a good option to have. And he was on the bench against Southampton, so clearly he's still available to play, and he'll probably play, or if the game goes ahead tomorrow, he'll probably play that. But I want to see him stick around.
And Jose's always banging on about having that balanced squad. Selling him will unbalance the squad. Yeah. So it's just as simple as that, really.
Yeah, it's just there's no point searching around for another right back when we have one. And for 20 million, is there anyone really better or significantly better than Serge Aurier who we can get? Definitely not. There's people who you might potentially be better, or you hope is better. There's no one you can concretely say for 20 million is better than Aurier. So
that's happy to sit on the bench as well.
Yeah, or I don't know if Aurier is happy to sit on the bench, but he's happy to compete with Doherty, and it might bring the best out of him. So I think that we all know Aurier has quality. He just lacks concentration and lapses in judgment sometimes that can cost him. But there's no one for me who's better than Aurier who can get for the money we can get for Aurier. So there's no point in replacing him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But anyway, that is it for us from the Tottenham update. We spoke about the Leyton Orient problems for the game tomorrow, Sorloth, Lingard, Weghorst and Serge Aurier. So let me know if you have any thoughts revolving those matters in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.